Next.
EDC.
Yep, looks like we're good.
We're now at the point in our meeting where we open the regular meeting of the EDC. Roll call, please. Rachel, when you're ready.
Sherry Bouye,
Here.
Jim Ellis,
Here.
Scott Gordon,
Here.
Melissa Mills,
Here.
Nate Manette,
Here.
Clyde Rabideau,
Here.
Nick Russell.
Still here. Thank you. Thank you.
Not too much longer.
Jeremy said to bring a sign.
Question, accept the agenda.
Well, she brings it
You got
now.
an email. Bring a sign.
Question, accepting the agenda. Could I have motion? Motion by Sherry. Second, Nate. Discussion. There being none, we'll assume the agenda has been adopted as is. Move on to public comment. Any public comment? There being none, approve the previous meeting minutes of January 2025, copies of which you have received in your email. Any additions, subtractions, deletions to the minutes as you saw them posted in your email? There being none, we'll assume that we are ready to vote. All those in favor of approving the previous meeting minutes of January 8, 2025, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, committee reports. If they're the same as the last one, you can just ditto that.
Yeah.
Paul?
No, there's nothing.
Okay.
One thing on loan, Paul,
What's that?
the loan one,
That should be treated as a separate,
on new business, okay.
I think it's there.
Which one?
The loan.
It is.
Oh, that's all,
It is.
those are all resolutions.
Yeah, so we don't, yeah.
Within the agenda too.
Yep.
Well, I can make one comment.
Okay.
You may have seen in the newspaper, Adirondack Art Rise is closing. It's our place in
Thank you.
Saranac Lake. They are a recipient of one of our loans. About 2 weeks before they made the announcement, she reached out to me. They made a balloon payment on their loan. To the point where they're going to continue their operations up until June. So she made enough of a payment that she'll just continue to make her regular payments and the loan will be paid off when they close shop.
Well,
Nice.
thank God for that. And please extend to her, if you're going to discuss with her, our appreciation. But secondly,
For sure.
it breaks my heart to see any kind of a business go down. I hate to see it. But thank you, Paul. Loan committee, any reports?
Oh, no, we just talked about that.
Oh, yeah, well.
He's my guy,
Smart ladies. Any-
right? Or you had a loan committee, I don't know what it is.
You're still having,
I am,
I think so.
I lose track.
Treasurer's report, Paul. Treasurer
Oh,
report.
okay.
Treasurer.
The only thing I wanna mention, the EDC is a little bit more of a challenge and the numbers get a little convoluted in that. Well, like for instance, when we have these grants that we receive and the resilient grant in particular is, I hate to say it, but it's very profitable for us. We get 12.5% revenue. If we max out that grant, which we think it could get it as high as $900,000, it'll be about $100,000 fee for us. So that gets recorded, as, revenue from the state, but the money that passes through us actually comes in as non-operating revenue. So when you look at the profit and loss, the statement of activity, you'll see, a revenue section, and then you'll see non-operating revenue section. Any money that just simply passes through us comes in as non-operating revenue, and it goes out on the expenses as non-operating expenses. Okay. There's dozens and dozens of invoices that are going back all the time, back and forth at a different time. We have to wait for the state to reimburse us. It gets a little crazy at the end of the year because some invoices have to be recorded in the prior year, some get recorded in the new year, depending upon when we bill the state. So it's always a challenge at the end of the year And this is one of the areas that becomes a challenge for the auditors too, because there's so much happening at year end. We can't just say we're not going to pay anybody until the audits, auditors are gone. So that's one of the big areas that we're going to try to work with the auditors on what can we do better to clean that up and speed that process up. The other thing is that technically speaking, if we have money flowing in and out through non-operating, if we budget $1 million on non-operating revenue, we should be budgeting $1 million non-operating expenses, okay? So if a grant doesn't materialize, let's say, and I'm just talking generically now, if we only get $500,000 revenue, then we're only going to see $500,000 expense, okay? Generally speaking, whatever we take in should be matching up with what we pay out. But because of the timing of invoices and then the timing of billing the state and when the state reimburses us, those numbers never match. But at the end of the grant, they do match. So I just want to bring that to light and just to simply say, this is what's uniquely different about the EDC versus the IDA is this grant income and the cumbersomeness of trying to make sure all of that accounting is straight.
And and Paul's done a really good job at teaching the rest of us about trying to minimize the expenses that we make at the end of the year and back them up a little bit. So we're not spending a ton of money on things on December 30th. It just makes life more difficult. So I think we're all in the habit of trying to think through that and not and do things earlier towards the end of the year. But as he said, we're not going to make contractors or homeowners wait either, because we just have to take care of them. But when we can, we're trying to limit those end of year expenses and get reimbursement requests in earlier so that the cash does come in before the end of the year. We just weren't used to that, and it was causing these types of problems. So he's done a good job at helping us understand the importance of it and become more disciplined.
Great, thank you very much. Good. CEO report.
All right, so if we take a look at the annual report, again, I just want to call your attention to 2 pages. Page 12, which is this chart, economic impact chart, and then the next page after it, the next couple pages. So I really like this chart. As you know, we've kind of divided our work up into several different programs, and this just is a snapshot of 2024 in the grants that we awarded. So this isn't money that we applied for and received. This is just these are homeowners and business owners that we've awarded funding for, such as the Energize Uptown program in Tupper Lake or the Ready and Resilient program. So I probably should have totaled that up, but you can see the number of projects is 59, 69, 70 projects in 2024 that we either started, initiated, or finished. And I didn't do the total on how much that is as far as money that we have secured from elsewhere to bring to Franklin County and then redistribute back to homeowners and businesses, which is what we have really tried to focus the EDC's efforts on. As you guys know better than anybody, there's a ton of work that goes into all of this. Paul just explained a little bit of it. And just again, we cannot do this without, number one, your support, because it's not lost on me, at least, that back in October, or when was it, September, I sent you guys all an email saying, hey, the state's asked us about administering this Resilient and Ready program. And the application's due yesterday or something like that. Which I went ahead and did it, right? And updated you guys, and you've been 100% supportive. Even though it's not something that we have traditionally been in, and not knowing exactly what it would be. But you guys understood the importance of it, and you trusted us, and so it started with you guys being willing to do that and trusting in us to implement it. And then, and not every board is gonna be like that, so thank you on behalf of the people that are benefiting from that program, and then obviously the team that's making it all happen. So that's, I really like that chart because it summarizes everything. And I won't go through each one, but the next few pages talks about some of the specific projects. And like the Energize Uptown Fund, which is underway. And just as a reminder, we're just starting the SEDS, the update to the comprehensive economic development strategy that we secured money for. And ironically, Scott is on that committee. So now he's got a dual role in that committee because will be our board rep. We are just starting with the downtown design guidelines for Saranac Lake. There's a resolution on the agenda about that one. And we're also working with Dale Earl and Shaddy Gay on the renovation of the old, the Key Bank building.
I was wondering if
Yep.
that's what it was.
Yep.
I couldn't remember. the
Yeah, so
last
he
meeting.
bought that a couple of years ago,
Yeah.
and we partnered with him to apply for a New York Main Street Anchor Program grant that we got awarded in December. So a lot going on right now, and a few new things starting also that we're gonna stay busy with in 2025. That's my EDC report.
Thank you. Appreciate it, thank you. Do we have a motion to accept the CEO report? Motion by Scott, second by Sherry. Discussion, there being none, we'll assume motions in the room, all in favor of accepting the CEO report, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
All right, old business. Any old business? There being none, we'll move on to new business.
I wanted to really quickly bring up, I saw Malone was awarded $10 million, I believe, and yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
Mhm.
Didn't know if we could play any kind of role in that, if they're reaching out to the town of Malone or seeing if there's anything we can do to maybe help administer some of these grants or help some of the businesses that are gonna be affected by it, or whatever we can do, but I would think that'd be a good move for us if we're able to.
I certainly hope so. We've been able to be involved in many direct ways.
Yeah.
With both the Saranac Lake DRI.
Right.
And the Tupper Lake DRI.
That's what I thought.
The Energize Uptown Fund, for example, in Tupper Lake is one of the projects from the Tupper Lake DRI.
Right.
That we're administering on behalf of the village. So I think you're spot on. I would feel left out
Yeah.
if we don't get a chance to help Malone out also.
It's the town, right? It's not.
No, the
downtown.
village.
The village.
Oh, it is the village.
Well,
Okay.
no,
the
it's-
village is the
I thought it
awardee.
was the.
The village is the
Okay.
awardee, but yeah, there's an actual
Yes, the
boundary,
village is the award, yes.
right,
Yeah.
but there's a boundary identified as downtown Malone.
Okay.
That the projects will have to
Correct.
occur within.
It's
So it
not
is
a very
a-
large area either.
No,
No, it's gonna be pretty small. They've already have it identified. It is pretty exciting. There was a lot of
Very
work.
exciting.
that
Yeah,
went
it's great.
into it.
That is awesome.
It's very.
Where'd you got it last time?
yeah,
That's,
it's gonna be good.
I'm
that's a
glad
good
you
point.
brought that in.
Yeah.
Thanks, Steve.
Yep.
And by the way, as Tupper Lake native, I want to thank the Manettes for what they did.
Of course.
for the Civic Center. Thank you so much.
Yes, yep,
Definitely.
absolutely.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely.
And please let the rest of the organization.
I will.
know how you feel.
That's a good point, Nate. That's not even, like, we knew, because we've been helping out here and there with their application
Yeah,
and stuff, but we didn't know if it was gonna happen. And we don't know exactly how we can help. But when the time comes, absolutely, we will
Perfect.
be there to help out.
perfect.
So sometimes the challenge is people don't understand the value added by utilizing us. I don't know if it would be particular to the village of Malone, but.
He's having a good
The
conversation.
extent that Rachel gets involved, community meetings and getting work groups together and having committees and evaluating applications. And then going through multiple funding rounds as, somebody might drop out of it. It's a very hard thing for a municipality to do. They certainly can do it if they have the right staff, well-trained staff. But there's some very unique features of working with these grant programs that we've perfected and can streamline and expedite payments because we know all of the requirements that have to be done. It's hard sometimes to convey that to municipalities, the value that is added. Even though there's a fee, we collect a portion of the administrative fee. They think they can save themselves money sometimes, and I'm not saying specifically about Malone.
Right.
But, it's
Yep.
been our experience
Yep.
that this happened.
And luckily the mayor certainly
Andrea.
knows
I say
what we
she's
do.
definitely,
There you
yeah,
go.
Yeah,
she's a,
so-
that's a good.
Very good.
No stranger there.
Thank you, everybody. We're now moving on to new business. We have a resolution, we have 3 resolutions, let's do first 2025-05 to approve the loan amendment for the OWD LLC. And a motion to put it on the floor. Motion on the floor. Plus. And all, Sherry, and Nick. Discussion.
What's OWD?
Thank you. OWD, the oval wood dish. It
So-
used to be an old wood,
Yeah.
Mm,
Okay,
it was an old wood making
Then
business.
last-
yeah,
So
okay.
it was big, quite a lot.
Thank you. Go ahead. You want to say anything, Jeremy?
Let me do it.
Update, the update is, we've already basically approved it by email and discussion. Because they ran into a time frame. And we knew that when we got together like this, we would be able to put together the language and to make these people whole. As to what they're trying to do.
Want me to comment a little bit?
Please.
Yeah,
I'm
so
lost.
they applied for an extension last year and we granted it to them. They went from paying 4.25% to 8.5%. This year, they need to renew it because they're waiting for the closing with their state financing funding. And so, they felt they need to add a little bit more time to give them enough breathing room to make sure that they can close. So the terms are basically 7% for 6 months. Interest only with a balloon payment at the end.
Very good.
So
And there's never been a problem with their paying us.
They need more time to get, so is this a bridge loan?
Yes, it's the first one.
You think within 6 months, the state will come through? for
Well, this has been in the works for I think our original loan was 3 years, wasn't it, Jeremy?
Yeah.
3 years. We gave them a 1-year extension. And then there was still a little bit more time.
So they'll sign a new note extending it out another 3 years?
No,
6
6 months,
Just 6
just
months.
six
Right.
months.
So 3 years matured in 24.
Right.
You started
And
in
were
20.
further fundings coming through? Do you have a commitment letter? Do you have anything from the state of New York saying it's being processed? or in works, or-
Everything that we have is just like a carryover, like the personal guarantees and everything's carried over.
If it were me, I'd ask for an update on something from the state saying where they stand. Like, if we're gonna do this for them, then we should know as an entity or a group that something's actually happening. Because what if we're just kicking the can down the road for another 6 months?
Mhm.
Like, shouldn't we know that something's actually, there should be something from the state
Yes.
saying where it is in the process. From my perspective.
Well,
I can request it, but we've already given them the green light that we're gonna do this.
Okay, so.
You can still request it.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, I certainly will. I don't anticipate any.
I was the
any
same way.
surprise.
No, that's
Same way as Sherry.
It's fine.
It's just covering your
Yeah.
bases.
Yep.
Mhm.
I will get an update from him on the status and if necessary from the state. It's fine request.
Very good.
Thank you.
Further discussion. There being none, we'll assume the question's been moved, and I'll ask Rachel to do the roll call on resolution 2025 05 to approve a loan amendment for OWD LLC.
Sherry Bouye,
Yes.
Jim Ellis.
Yes.
Scott Gordon,
Yes.
Melissa Mills,
Yes.
Nate Manette,
Yes.
Clyde Rabidou,
Yes.
Nick Russell.
Yes.
Thank you. Now we move on to resolution 2025 06 to approve planning for places consulting agreement. And I'm assuming this is for the sets.
No, this is, we, on behalf of the Village of Saranac Lake, we applied for a New York Main Street Technical Assistance Grant. Because one of their goals is to develop streetscape design guidelines. This is a document that would say, here's the kind of street light we want, here's the kind of bike rack we want, here's, if we're gonna have special pavement, this is what it would be. Here's the places you can purchase that kind of equipment, etc. So we applied for and received it on their behalf. It's a $20,000 project. The grant is for $19,000. And the village previously committed the $1,000 minimum 5% match. So this, we did an RFP, we received 4 responses. We felt that Planning for Places, who I've never worked with, was the best fit for this project. And so this is a resolution authorizing execution of a contract with them to complete the work, and it will be done. Well, it has to be done this year. It's like a one-year project.
Very good. Further discussion? Being none, we'll assume the questions moved. We'll get a roll call vote now on 2025 06 to approve the planning for places consulting agreement.
Sherry Bouye,
Yes.
Jim Ellis.
Yes.
Scott Gordon,
Yes.
Melissa Mills.
Yes.
Nate Manette.
Yes.
Clyde Rabidou,
Nope.
Not bad.
Clyde, can you hear us? All right, Nick Russell.
Yes.
Very good.
Yes.
There. All right, Clyde. All right, now we'll move into executive if
Oh,
required.
we didn't do the
No, we
last
need to
one.
do the audit.
Okay. 2025 to accept the fiscal year 2024 audit and financial report on report for the EDC. I'm assuming there'll be no discussion, am I correct? We do have a motion, we need a motion to put it on the floor. Sherry, second, Melissa. There being no discussion, we'll go ahead and do the roll call.
Sherry Bouye,
Yes.
Jim Ellis.
Yes.
Scott Gordon.
Yes.
Melissa Mills.
Yes.
Nate Manette.
Yes.
Clyde Rabidou, Nick Russell.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nodding, I think yes.
I love it. Okay. Heard it. Okay, any
Yes.
further discussion? Public comment? Any public comment for the EDC? Being none, we'll assume the motion to adjourn is in order. All those in favor of adjourning the EDC meeting, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Next meeting will be April 9th.